Hi, my name is Darren Bartlett, and I love discussing African affairs, especially when it comes to the current affairs on the continent. Now, to support me, all you have to do is subscribe so that you don't miss out on any piece of news that I bring you every single day. Now, let's go to Congo. This is a country that has been in the news for the longest period of time this year, including last year. But this is because of the conflict that has been happening in the eastern part of Congo. But what do we have today? Today, we have news coming in from Qatar that the two parties, DRC government and the M23 representatives, have exchanged drafts on the peace agreement. And so far, the Qataris say things are moving on well, even when the two parties actually had missed a deadline of 18th August when they were supposed to be signing the final peace deal. So they missed that. However, Qatar says that has not stopped them from continuing to negotiate until they find common ground where they will sign a peace deal. Now, this whole process was supposed to have started on 8th August, but the two parties did not attend the meetings. Well, reasons have not been unveiled why. However, they continue to have discussions until they reached on exchanging the drafts between the two parties. And some of the things that this Doha process has always wanted is, first of all, to stop fighting, that there must be a ceasefire in the region and allow humanitarian aid to flow in between the two people as the process is being looked forward on. So there are some interesting things that the government of DRC had rejected a little bit earlier on. M23 had requested, or not even requested, had demanded, sorry to say requested, had demanded that DRC releases 700 prisoners who were in jail and that they should be transferred to Goma. And M23 had actually captured much of the territories in the eastern part of Congo, Bukavu, Goma, and others surrounding around the place. And transferring those prisoners to Goma technically means that they get into the hands of the M23. That's where they'll be. I mean, they're the ones who are in control of everything that is happening, their security and basically running the simple administrative issues in that region there. As far as at least we know, those parts have not yet been given back to the government. But the DRC government rejected that and said that it will rather deal with the prisoners on a case-by-case issue to rather than release all of them like that, because probably some of them have committed crimes that are a little grave, and that cannot happen. Just letting them go is not something that you want to see. But are we going to finally see peace come to DRC? I mean, M23 has existed for a very long time, from 2012, and then they went back and picked up arms in 2021, and they have been a force. Last year, they really pushed hard, including this January this year. They really, really pushed hard, and for some reason, they were aiming at going to Kinshasa. If you watched interviews or letters that were being released by the rebel group, it was really determined. In fact, there was too much pressure that was now put on Rwanda, because they believed that Rwanda was the one providing them with intelligence, weaponry, and also some soldiers are fighting within M23. We saw negotiations being happening between USA, Rwanda, and Kigali. In fact, they're the ones who brokered the deal between the two, even when that agreement is a little bit stressful to understand. It is simple to understand, but you, as on a moral value, you may not get it. Like, how did we arrive to a point where DRC is now giving access to USA in terms of minerals for security? I mean, we've been trying to get out of this neo-colonialism or colonialism era, but now here we are. We find ourselves in that kind of position. But anyway, that would be a discussion for another day. There was also the Rwanda process. Angola was trying to mediate between the two countries, yet M23 was actually gaining ground. And Rwanda had to repeatedly deny their involvement in the advancement of M23 until also Doha came through. In fact, the agreement that people seem to appreciate more is the Doha process between Rwanda and DRC. And now, likely it will be appreciated between M23 and the government of Congo. It seems Qatar has actually pushed progress when it comes to agreements. And here's the thing. we need to ask ourselves a question. Why is Qatar involved in so many peace deals around the world now? So far, since the 2000s, I think they now have about 13 that have been involved in USA, Venezuela, DRC and Rwanda, M23 and DRC. You've seen them between Hamas and Israel. They have continued to have these conversations around the world. I don't know how they want to present themselves and what do they benefit from this, but that is something that I really need to find out why they are involved in peace processes around the world. But that's it. Let's hope that the two parties, M23 and DRC, will look at the drafts, will agree on the drafts, will amend whatever they want to amend, and finally come to a peace agreement, which today would have been the day, but it doesn't seem that it will be the day, but it will be at a later stage. And maybe at a later stage, when they both agree on the agreement, we shall get to know what have these two parties agreed on. My name is Darren Bartlett, and I will see you in the next one.